All right guys, we are back on the C10 project. Today we're going to be working on all of the fueling setup. I'm going to go over basically what's installed on the truck and then give you a game plan on what we need to do to get everything finalized, get all the fuel lines ran to the front, and get hopefully everything plumbed up. I do need to make a custom bracket for the regulator, so probably going to just 3D print that for now, and then we'll get that fabbed up and sent off to get made for us. And then when that comes back, we should be able to finalize the fuel project. But for now, I'm going to take you guys on the journey of what's installed, what I need to do to plumb everything up. We are running flex fuel, and we are going to be obviously incorporating a filter on the frame rail. So let's start at the back. We'll show you what we have, and we'll go from there. All right, so out of this build, customer did supply a Boyd Welding fuel cell. They went ahead and notched the bed for the fill neck, and then they're going to put a basically a cover on here. Not sure if it's going to have a hinge or if it's magnetic. I think he said he's going to make it magnetic so you can just drop it in there. This gives you access to the fuel cell and the fuel pump itself. So as I mentioned, this is the Boyd Welding fuel cell. We do have the Aeromotive A1000 installed on here, and then we have the fuel level sensor that will be wiring up, so that works as well. A1000 is not going to cut it for the power levels that we're looking to go, but what we'll do is we'll basically install what we have, max out the fuel system pump-wise. Whatever horsepower we end up is what we end up, and then our next iteration on the build will basically be replacing the fuel pump assembly, but everything else should not be a bottleneck. That and the turbo that we have on the truck is basically going to be our only bottleneck. So what we're going to do is start plumbing from the very top. With 8 AN feed. This tank does not have the drain section installed right there, so I got to pull that NPT plug, put an 8 AN on there. We're just going to be running -8 front and back, so meaning feed and return. Keep it simple, all the same sizes, shouldn't have any bottlenecks with that. And then I'll show you where we're going to be placing the fuel filter and the flex fuel sensor. Underneath the truck, this is what we're looking at for the fuel cell. Bolts in very nicely. You can see the tabs on the sides, and clearance all around the tank it looks to be very good. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to run the lines on the driver's side. So we are going to tuck them up into the C-channel frame, keep everything away from all moving parts. Don't want to run it on the passenger side because that's where the exhaust is going to be. So we're going to get everything tucked up into the C-channel. Installed properly, and then up towards the center area where this is pretty open, we're going to be basically running our fuel filter and our flex fuel sensor. So this wiring right here just goes to the rear brake lights, which if I haven't covered already, we will be replacing. We're doing a full wire project on this truck, basically interior harness, exterior harness, engine harness, doing a PDM with a Dominator ECU. So that's going to be a full wiring setup. So when it comes to fueling products, fuel lines and fittings, there's only a handful that I only run. I don't like any China, Amazon, eBay. I understand that most of these are probably made in China, but their quality control is significantly better than what you can find just laying around online. So we're going with Frigola. We've got their PTFE fuel line. This is the -8. We've got 20 feet, so it should be good enough for running front to back. And then we've got all of their PTFE lines, or I'm sorry, hose ends. As far as adapters go, I do use Vibrant. These are non-moving parts, so I'm good with that. Not that I don't like Vibrant hose fittings, I just understand that a lot of their PTFE hose ends do not swivel. Once you get the lines fully installed, they do not swivel anymore, which is a problem because these are not very flexible. The hose is not very flexible, and you want to make sure that you've got some kind of movement, or you have to get your hose end placement exact. So running with Frigola, I'm going to basically start pulling the tank so I can get the rear lines mounted onto the interior of the C-channel. Exactly what I want. I want it fastened because this does have a live axle, so we don't want any moving parts around the fuel lines. Just got to button those up into the C-channels. That way we don't have any issues. So we'll get started. All right, so we got the tank pulled out. This cap right here is where we're going to have our return line feed into. And then I do need to pick up another orb fitting for this. I believe it's 10 AN. We need to have it convert to 8 AN. so that way we can have our feed line tap into that. This is our wiring for the fuel level sensor, so we'll get a DTM connector on that, and then we're going to run 10 gauge to the pump, so that way we don't have any voltage issues there. So gonna have to order this. I'll go ahead and get the fitting installed on here. I should be able to get this back installed because I can get to the top of this from the bed, and then we'll start running our lines. All right guys, so we are gonna wrap up on the fuel system. We've got most of the lines, all but the front section of the return line, pretty much all done, completed. So we've got both lines from the fuel cell forward. The feed line's gonna go through the filter, and then we've got from the filter to the fuel rails completed, so all of the feed is done. The return side, we've got from the fuel cell to the flex fuel sensor, but I don't have from the flex fuel sensor up to the regulator because I still got to get proper placement on the regulator, which we're using Aeromotive A1000, just for simplicity. Basically ordered 40 feet of 8 AN. We ordered 20 initially, we ran out, so I had to order another 20 just so we have enough. So we're gonna have all -8 fittings on the return side, and then I'm gonna make a custom mount on this so that way we can mount it next to the intake, and then get those situated. Once this is mounted in its final resting position, that's when I'll do the last part from the regulator to the fuel flex fuel sensor, and that would wrap up all fuel lines. So ran the Fragola fittings. We've got the Fragola lines, PTFE, so we don't have any fuel smells. So we'll go ahead and get this installed on the truck. We're gonna fasten it all up on the inner frame rails. And then once this is mounted, I'll give you guys a view of what that looks like and basically what the finished product looks like. All right, so we'll start from the back. You can see we've got the fuel hat and the fuel tank installed. We've got 8 AN feed, and then we've got our 8 AN return right there. So that's all plumbed up. We've got our fill neck here, so we can access that from the top. And again, the owner's gonna make some covers for both of these, so that way you're not gonna have just these gaping holes here. But for now, that gives us easy access. I still need to wire up the fuel level sensor, but we'll get to that when we start doing all the wiring. But the tank's in, all buttoned up. I'll take you underneath and show you what the lines look like. Underneath here you can see where the lines are. I know it's super dark, but we've got the return and the feed. And we've got the bracket or P-clips right here that fasten that, so that shouldn't go anywhere. Should be good and tidy. And let's continue down the side of the frame rail and I'll show you what the rest of it looks like. All right, so underneath looks pretty simple. We've got our fuel cell there. It's got 6 bolts, 3 on each side. Everything's kind of fastened up there. I've got a P-clip on the inside of the frame that basically fastens the fuel lines to the frame rail, so that's not going anywhere. Underneath, it's really hard to see, but I've got the fuel lines basically tied up. Everything is super secure. So you can see here, this is how it's all fastened up. Basically alongside the frame rail, everything is tied up. We've got our fuel filter here mounted. We've got the lines obviously coming off of that. We've got another clip over here. And then we've got our Motion Raceworks flex fuel sensor mount bracket right there. Everything's all plumbed up. We've got the feed line going up, tied away from the exhaust manifold, so we've got enough clearance there. We've got some clearance between the shift linkage. Not sure final resting position of this. The owner did say that he bent this as it needed. Not sure if we'll need some tweaks when we're done modifying the column, but we'll revisit that later. If we need to replace this line, we can, simple, but I wanted to keep it as far away from the exhaust as possible. All right, so here's the backside crossover. What we want to do is keep away from these ports and the connector on the map sensor. So for this, we're actually going to start on this side. It'll be close. If we need to angle this a little bit, we can. But let me go ahead and get a straight fitting on this. We'll mock it up. Something like that. That would work. I really don't like this, but that's what the guy wanted. Ideally, we would plug this, use an adapter, and use an 1/8 inch NPT. I think we're going to have scaling issues on this because I think this is only a 2.5 bar. So he wants to run it, so we're going to run it. I really want to try to get to the dime fittings. That's a really neat setup. I want the crimper too, so I don't have to mess with all this. But we'll get there eventually. All right, that should wrap this section up. There we go. I like it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get these pulled off because we got to flush the lines. Up on the top, we've got our fuel rails there. We've got a 8 ANT with the 90-degree hose end, and you can see it fits nicely down there. I'm going to run a crossover line to the other side so it can feed there. And then on the front, still got to fab up the return lines. Going to mount the regulator basically right here. So I'm going to make a mount tee off of the timing cover. So that way it kind of mounts the regulator and shoots the return line down the center. And then we've got both of these that'll kind of come down and cross into that regulator. So got to fab up the mount, get that regulator sitting exactly where I want. So that way we've got enough room for both lines. Radiator, or not the radiator, the alternator does go here. So we have to use orb hose ends for proper clearance. It's extremely close to the back of the alternator, so I just want to get the regulator mounted, ideal placement, so that way I can get both lines ran with no issues. All right, so we've got mock-up pretty much all situated with our bracket here, our regulator. We've got our banjo fittings here. We've got our lines crossed just like that, so that's going to fit perfectly. So we're good to go to get this bracket made out of metal. You can see fits really nicely. So interesting thing that I found, these banjo fittings, they are PTFE, you can tell by the ends of them. Ordered these directly from Fregola. Neither of them came with collets. Very interesting. I then ordered Fregola -8 45-degree fitting. Sealed package. We've got a 180. So clearly there's some quality control issues going on. Not sure what's going on, but unfortunately we're going to have to order a new 45 and then order some collets for that. So we can't really assemble those. I'm sure I've got some additional collets that I can use, but they're supposed to come with these. So we'll get these made up, all of our brackets. We've got a handful of brackets to get made. And then once those arrive, we should be able to get this wrapped up. All right, so we're gonna swap this bracket out. Right now it's just plastic. I've got the official one in, so we're gonna swap that out and then finish cutting these lines for length, get that installed. That'll wrap up the front of the fuel rail. And then we've got the crossover line on the back. We'll get that all wrapped up. Fuel system will be pretty much done at that point. Yeah, and then we'll move on to the oil lines. All right, so we've got the lines made up. These banjo fittings are a little unique where you actually have to pop the top off unless you have a thin wrench. But if you use a thin wrench on here, you have the chance of marring it up. So just gonna pop this little C-clip off, remove the banjo portion, torque this down, and then slip it back on. So just like that, remove the C-clip, put it somewhere safe, and then push the center section out. Probably don't need to go all the way, but I am. Just don't lose these two O-rings on the tops. So I'm gonna lube up this bottom O-ring when it goes in there, so that way we don't tear anything. I just use assembly oil. Be generous with it. You don't need to skimp out. And then just use your 8AN wrench. Make sure it's tight and we're good. I don't think sides matter, but I'll try reversing it. Nope. So we're good. Don't forget the O-ring or the C-clip. There we go. That line is good. Twist it to get the orientation of the tubing we want. We'll get the other side installed and then we'll orient those as we need. And the front lines are done in a nice little crisscross fashion. Everything's good. So now we'll work on the return line down to the ethanol content reader. And that'll finish up that side. And then we've just got our crossover line and then fueling is done. All right, so now we've got all the room. Go ahead and run the return line down and then we're good.